Greetings from the Garrett Public Library, and it's time for this week's Railroader Reading. My name is Neal, and I hope you've had a good week. I will be reading from the book 50 Shades of Worf, Darker Ages, by Christopher Schmitz, a nerdy comedy tale involving celebrities filming, a Renaissance festival, identity theft, and detectives trying to capture the thief. I've selected a section that feels like a TV show crime drama. Detective Diego has captured the culprit Smith. Detective Farnsworth is also in scene, assisting his partner. "Where are they?" demanded Diego. Smith cackled like a madman. "You'll never find your queens." "You mean king and queen," Farnsworth corrected. "Did I? You won't find them. Any of them. They're trapped inside my hall of horrors." He motioned towards the goblin holes. "If you want to free them, you'll have to—" "Whatever," Diego said, cutting short his monologue. "I've had enough out of you. You're going to jail and can tell it to the judge." "What? Wait. No!" Smith complained. He'd obviously wanted to monologue. "I don't particularly care about the fate of Jairus and Megan, and I've got other places to be." Tom cackled. "Like with her?" "You'll find I've become acquainted with the Lady Brienne of Duluth. Your precious Jessica." Diego narrowed his eyes to slits and picked up the slight man with his balled fists. "What do you know about Jessica?" He looked down and could see a single activation button on something that resembled a wireless garage door opener. The LED on it flickered. "Just that the clock is ticking," Smith said. Farnsworth had already pulled out his mobile phone and called for police support. Smith grinned at him. "They'll never arrive in time. I saw you last night on my camera, finally putting the puzzle pieces in place. And so I took precautions and did my research. Based on your precinct's average response time, they won't arrive until some time after my victims have succumbed to all my implements of torture." Smith's sneer bordered on maniacal. "If you want to save her, you've got to enter my dungeon." Diego reared back, as if he might hit the man. Suddenly, a cloaked man intervened. Vin Diesel. He stayed Diego's fist and then turned to the camera and flashed a cocky grin. "I know some adventurers who might take up your quest, peacekeeper." Joe Manganiello pulled back his hood, as did Stephen Colbert, who brandished his staff. Ahem, Colbert got their last member's attention. "Oh, what?" Polly Shore turned and focused his attention on them and tried to figure out what he'd missed. "Sorry," he pulled down his hood, "but you wouldn't believe the size of that guy's pickle." Bryce saluted him. He and Polly Shore shared a kind of kismet moment. In full wizard garb, Dan Harmon stepped into the camera's view and reacted to the situation, framing it as something the LARPers could later when they reviewed footage. And so the wizard accepted the quest to delve the dungeon of the Mad Tinker. Harmon led the way, and the celebrities, flanked by the camera crews, slowly descended the stairs and entered the mouth of Tom Smith's dungeon. Mere moments after they plunged into Newt's holes, the screaming began. One by one, the voices tapered off. Only Vin Diesel survived the encounters, and he sprinted to the top of the steps, gasping for air. Luckily, none of the camera operators had been affected. Smith howled with laughter, and Diego twisted his arms, making him yelp with pain. Farnsworth leaned into the camera. Let's make sure we edit out any police brutality, okay?" The cameraman gave him a thumbs up and kept the film rolling. "By my estimate, they don't have much longer. You'd better find and rescue the captives in the next 20 minutes, or all is lost." Smith warned the detectives. Tick-tock, tick-tock. Diego glared at the man, and then shoved him over to Harding. "Here, hold this garbage until I get back." He turned and headed for the stairs. "Wait," Farnsworth yelled. "We can't. There's police protocol to observe. We can't just. The chief put us in charge here, remember? Diego argued. Besides, he's got Jessica. I don't have any other choice. Fine, argued Farnsworth, but I'm your Samwise. Great. Where are we going? Asked Bryce. Farnsworth pointed to Miles. You owe us one for rescuing you from the clutches of the large lady. Fine, Miles said. Besides, I am curious to see what kind of tech he's got stashed down there. Is it ADA compliant? Called a voice. Davy and his sister emerged from the crowd. Linda had a gold winner's medal on her chest for the jousting tourney and wore a matching black eye on her face, in addition to a grin. Davy looked down the stairs. On second thought, I'll stand in for her, said Vin Diesel. I've at least seen the first corridor. He flashed the cameras another grin. Diego nodded. That's something at least, but perhaps we could benefit from a guide with deeper knowledge. He stepped over to where Newt was hiding as he tried to latch on a busty steampunk girl's bountiful gears. Diego grabbed him by the scruff of his neck and yanked him into their group. Newt hid the digital camera he was holding behind his back. Oh, hey, detective. I didn't see you there. No, you certainly looked distracted, Diego said. You're coming with us. You know the way. Newt sighed. If the queen is there, I can show you the way. Diego nodded. I never thought I'd lead a dungeon crawl, he said, and loosened the sword at his hip. His companions followed him down to the first landing and found an armor-clad man with white hair. You're still here? Diesel asked, identifying Henry Cavill, who had returned to his previous haunt. Come on, Diego told him. You can help us secure the prisoners before this whole stupid attraction blows up, or floods, or whatever it is that the madman rigged it to do. This place is booby-trapped? Cavill asked. Farnsworth nodded. Maybe it's true what they say. Discretion is the better part of valor. Cavill turned to leave, and Farnsworth reached into his fanny pack. He scattered a fistful of coins across the path leading upward. On second thought, I'm coming with you guys, Cavill said, turning to join the party. Glad to hear it, stated Diego. The crew descended into the depths of the tunnel, lit only by the lights affixed to the cameras, which their operators shined into the path before them. The party of adventurers delved into the depths and walked through the cavernous sub-level of the old building. Exposed brick and winding turns gave it a very dungeon-like feel. In the zone before them, they found the remainder of the first activated trap. Pneumatic tubes fired spikes downward from the ceiling. Blood spatters where the lengths of sharpened rebar had caught a few of the celebrities pinpointed the moment that the trap had activated. Hold up, Farnsworth said. He nudged the front end of the nearest camera operator so that his light shined on the wall nearby, and located a motion sensor similar to the kind used to open sliding glass doors at a supermarket or big box store. With his back to the wall, he slid along the brick and stayed out of the sensor's range, and then kicked it free of its mounting a moment later, leaving only exposed wires. Well, that was simple enough, said Vin Diesel. He rubbed a cut on his bicep where the spikes had gotten him during his previous mad rush through the gauntlet. There's another trap ahead. They walked a little way deeper as he explained how the party had made a mad dash forward as soon as the pointy death began raining down upon them. The rest of those buffoons fell directly into a pit trap and... Ah! Without the cameraman directly lighting his path, Vin Diesel fell into the pit, where the remainder of the celebrities nursed broken ankles and the like. A 12-inch wide plank lay against the wall, and Newt pointed to it. The pit was originally filled with foam blocks. Someone has obviously tampered with my design. And the spikes from the ceiling, Diego asked. Well, he hedged, there had to be a little danger. Otherwise, where's the fun? One by one, the remaining party members crossed over the 10-foot wide chasm and ignored the pained groans of the Hollywood actors within. There should be a supply room up here with some rope in it. We can get the injured out of there, Newt stated. They rounded a corner and the dungeon's designer paused to look at a series of thick pipes running along the ground. These look like the stuff my grandfather used in his fields, crop irrigation pipes. You can pump a lot of liquid with that. Someone's laid it since the last time I was allowed down here. He muttered a curse against Harding. Newt's hacker and fake email claims sounded more and more plausible by the minute. Arriving at the door, Diego tried the knob. He used the broadsword he carried and hacked the handle off, and then looked up to find a stunned-looking Newt, who had the key in his hand. Oops! Diego jammed the tip of the blade into the threshold and pried the door open. Newt grabbed the coil of rope and eyed the equipment stowed inside. Additional equipment had been left there as well. A lighter, fuel, funnels, lengths of chain, silk ribbon, empty milk jugs, a single adhesive bandage, generators, pumps, pressure systems, all kinds of new stuff, he complained, and I don't see any of my video equipment anywhere. You go get the LARPers out of that hole, and then get out of here, Diego ordered him. Is there anything we should know? Newt explained. There's another level below this one. It will take you through a few rooms and winding tunnels. At one point, you'll come to a T-shaped intersection. Take the path on the right. The other direction ends in a dead end, but there's a utility access that escapes the right-hand tunnel, which comes up behind the back of the main building. And the traps? Diego asked, checking his timepiece. They had maybe 12 minutes left. Mostly benign, Newt assured them. Pool, noodles, and dodgeballs. Think laser tag. The players were supposed to have a couple of lives is all, so it was all based on not getting eliminated by lasers. I can't imagine one disgruntled worker would go to so much trouble as to make something deadly. With that, Newt disappeared to help the fallen celebs. Hey guys, Bryce called. I think this whole thing would be easier with the lights on, right? He stood a few feet down the hallway, where a single can of light shone onto a wall-mounted switch, with a big sign that read, Lights. No, don't flip that, Farnsworth yelled. Too late, as Picklepool ignored him and toggled the switch. The lights flipped on, even as pneumatic pressure sounds rang out, like a dozen paintballs firing at once. Wall-mounted tubes fired broadhead arrows like an Indiana Jones death trap, and riddled Bryce's body with razor-tipped missiles. And he fell dead. Ouch! Bryce moaned as he stood, picking himself up off the floor and defying all reason and physiology. The others rushed to his side while he pulled arrows from his body, as if they were little more than porcupine quills. I can hardly believe it, Cavil mumbled. Believe it, buddy, Bryce groaned. The arrows still hurt, apparently. What? How? Farnsworth stammered. I don't know. I get better real fast. Bryce winced as Diego yanked one of the arrows free. I told you things had been weird for me ever since last TrollCon. Diego poked the tip of his finger with one of the pointy missiles. It drew blood, and he shot Farnsworth a knowing look. Yeah, but I thought you meant something like male pattern baldness or adult acne? That's quite a bit different from functional immortality, he said. Bryce shrugged. Well, nobody asked me if I had achieved immortality. It's like we don't even talk anymore. Well, I think I'm going to leave on that note for this hair-raising rendition of this story. But be sure to tune in for next week's installment. Same bat time, same bat channel. So long until we virtually meet again.